My name is Act1-Ibañez from BTBTE ICTCH2C. I am here to discuss about assembling a system unit. But before that, let me just discuss this one, which the tools we need when we assemble a system unit. So ito yung mga kailangan: Phillips screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, anti-static wrist strap, scissors, and cable ties. Next, safety precautions, which is the most important thing na kailangan nating i-consider bago tayo mag-computer assembly. Ang pinakauna dito ay fully shut down your computer and unplug all sources of power. Alam mo naman na hindi pwedeng mag-assemble ng computer kung ito ay nakasaksak o may power pa. Alam mo na ang posibleng mangyayari. And take off any metal objects na pwede rin maka-apekto sa pag-assemble natin ng mga computer components inside the system case. Hands are completely dry. Siyempre, kailangan tuyong-tuyo yung mga kamay mo. Bawal kang mag-assemble kung basa yan, kasi pwede yung maka-apekto sa mga computer parts natin. And prepare a place to keep any screws. I want to share with you guys, when I was in grade 12, nag-perform din kami ng computer assembly. And masyado akong naging hindi maingat pagdating sa screws. Kasi dinapag ko lang siya sa sahig, hindi ko na namamalayan na nasipa na pala siya ng mga classmate ko. So, nagkulang yung mga screws ko. So, it affects my score dun sa performance namin. So, if I were you, gumamit kayo ng isang garapon para dun yung ilagay yung mga screws nyo. Para kapag nag-a-assemble na kayo, tuloy-tuloy lang. And next, handle all parts with care. Siyempre, kailangan natin silang hawakan ng may pag-iingat para hindi natin sila masira. And lastly, be careful when holding the motherboard. Siyempre, alam natin yung motherboard is the main circuit board na kung saan lahat ng components ng computer natin is connect doon para gumana sila. Okay? And don't forget your PPE. Ha? Huwag nyo rin kakalimutan yon. So now, let's proceed with computer assembly, which is the step-by-step. Step 1, open the case. Step 2, put the motherboard. Step 3, install the processor or the CPU. Step 4, install the CPU cooler or heatsink. Step 5, mount memory RAM or put the memory RAM. Next, put the hard disk drive. Step 7, put the DVD drive. Step 8, install the power supply or the PSU. Step 9, connect all the connectors inside our system case. Step 10, close the case or cover the system unit. So, let's proceed with the step 1, which is open the case. So, ang kailangan lang natin gawin, alam naman natin yung system unit natin is yung cover niya nandito tsaka nandito. So, ang kailangan nyo gawin is, ialis nyo rin yung screw, tapos, slide kasi yan siya. Igaganon nyo lang para ma-open yung ating system case. Alisin nyo lang yung system cover. I-unscrew nyo muna and then kunin nyo yung case. So, that's it. Para mabuksan. Step 2. Gusto ko rin malaman nyo kasi marami ding nalilito, lalo na nung ako ay senior high school. Pwedeng mauna si power supply. Depende kasi sa mga nag-i-install, sa mga gumagawa ng computer. And pwede namang mauna yung mga inilalagay sa motherboard bago ilagay si motherboard sa system case. Pero dito ang step 2 natin is put the motherboard. Ang motherboard is the main printed circuit board in a computer. So, para ilagay natin siya, screw the motherboard stand-offs in the case. So, ito yung system case, ilalagay si motherboard dito, tapos i-screw natin. The motherboard is to be fixed vertically in the tower case and the screws are fixed from behind of the motherboard. Next, for the step 3, install the processor or the CPU. Alam naman siguro natin na CPU is a brain of our computer. CPU is a chip containing millions of tiny transistors. It's the CPU's job to perform the calculation necessary to make the computer work, to make our computer works. So, a central processing unit or CPU is a piece of hardware that enables yung computer to interact with all of the applications and programs installed. Para ilagay natin si CPU, Locate the CPU socket holder on the motherboard. So, makikita nyo yan sa bandang gitna din siguro. Nandun si CPU socket, so kailangan mong ilagay si CPU doon. Lift up the latch lever to release and hinge open the CPU socket cover. Gently place it straight down into the motherboard socket to set the CPU. Lower the CPU socket cover over the CPU and lower the latch lever closed again to secure the CPU socket closed. Caution, kailangan nyo itong tandaan. When handling a CPU, do not touch the CPU contacts. Huwag nyo hawakin yung ganito ng CPU nyo. Okay? Kasi pwede yung maka-apekto. Pwede nyo masira yon. Step 4, install CPU cooler or heatsink. So, tapos na tayo sa CPU. Si CPU nandito, tapos si CPU cooler o tinatawag din heatsink, ito pa ganyan, ilalagay nyo siya. So, CPU coolers are designed to dissipate heat produced by the processor that sits at the heart of your PC. The heatsink fan assembly is a two-part cooling device. The heatsink draws heat away from the CPU. Make sure the CPU cooler is installed directly to the back of the computer metal housing. Seat CPU heatsink or cooler and fix in position. Plug the power cable attached to the cooler into the motherboard connector. So, eto si CPU, dito nyo ilalagay si heatsink. Maririnig nyo yan kapag pinin nyo si heatsink. Step 5. Mount memory or the random access memory. RAM stands for, as what I said, random access memory. Computer RAM is essentially short-term memory where data is stored as the processor needs it. So, line up the notch on the RAM, stick with the mounting slot, press to open the clips at both ends of the round mounting slots. Seat the RAM and press it firmly down into the slot. The tabs should automatically latch closed as you press the RAM down, securing the RAM in place. Makikita nyo yan sa memory slot. Merong dalawang dulo yan na igaganon nyo. Maririnig nyo yan kapag ginanon nyo siya, pinindot nyo or klinik nyo siya pag ganon. Maririnig nyo yan. Ang palatandaan dyan, yung memory nyo is meron siyang parang bungi. So, yun yung palatandaan kung paano nyo siya ipi-place doon sa memory slot. Step 6. Put the hard disk drive. Minsan nakalagay dito yung mga optical drives, pwedeng mga ganun. Pero dito inisa ko siya, yung hard disk drive and DVD drive. Mas uunahin muna natin si hard disk drive. A hard drive is hardware component that stores all your digital content. Slowly put the hard disk drive inside the CPU case. Screw the hard disk drive in the case. So, sa system case natin, sa loob siya. Sa loob yung hard disk drive. Yung step 7, which is the put the DVD drive. Diba, ito yung in front naman yung harap naman nung system case, doon natin padadaanan si DVD drive. So, makikita nyo yun sa video. DVD drives are devices that can read DVD discs on a computer. A DVD drive is a component of a computer or other electronic device designed specifically to utilize digital versatile discs or DVDs. You just have to put the DVD drive in front of the CPU case. So, ganun yon. Step 8, install the power supply. So, the PSU. A power supply unit is an internal hardware component. Specifically, a power supply converts the alternating high voltage current or the AC into direct current or the DC, and they also regulate the DC output voltage to the fine tolerances required for modern computing components. So, alam natin, yung power supply natin is ilalagay siya sa, diba ito yung nakahiga, merong malaking butas doon natin ipapasok si power supply. Now, line up the power supply at the top back end of the cabinet and screw it. Plug the largest coupling connector from power supply coupling into motherboard, power connector, and other connectors. So, si power supply natin, alam naman natin maraming mga connectors yan eh. May 24 pin, may P4, may SATA. Makikita nyo naman yun doon. Marami siyang connectors. Step 9, connect all the connectors. Siyempre, dito na papasok yung mga cables doon ay yung mga connectors inside our system case. Gagawin na natin siya. Tinatawag din tong connectors management or connector management. Ito na yung iaayos natin lahat ng mga connectors inside the system case. Internal connectors are found inside a computer case. Siyempre, doon natin yung makikita sa loob. Just connect all the connectors inside the CPU case. Identify cabling from the front panel ports of your PC. These front panel connectors will need to be plugged into the motherboard so that buttons and inputs, outputs, or I/O on your case front panel will work. Yung front panel connectors, ito yung mga kulay black na maninipis na connectors para paganahin yung I/O shield natin. Di ba may I/O shield doon? Tapos yung mga sasaksakan ng keyboard, ng mouse, ng speaker, ng cable ng monitor. So, ayun yun, yung mga pagsasaksakan ng mga connectors natin. So, kaya nakakabit siya sa motherboard. Kaya, kailangan nating i-connect ng maayos lahat ng connectors inside the system unit doon sa ating motherboard. And last part will be close case or cover the system unit. Before closing up your case completely, you may wish to do some cable management. Sinabi ko nga kanina, sa step 9, which the connect all the connectors, gagawin muna natin si cable management. Or kailangan mong i-check kung na-manage mo pa talaga yung mga cable bago mo i-close yung system unit. Which means stacking away, rerouting, or removing and securing any loose slack from cables which would otherwise be hanging around loose in your case. So, kailangan mo munang i-check kung mana-manage mo ba talaga ng cables. Place the side cover back on, secure the side panel with case, and screw it. Kung ano yung tinanggal mo sa first step, yun din yung ibabalik mo doon. So, that is the 10 steps by step on how to computer assembly. So, tapos na tayo sa discussion ng assembling system unit. So, that is the steps and na-discuss din natin yung mga dapat nating alalahanin kung magpe-perform tayo ng assembling system unit. I hope you learned something from me. Once again, my name is Act1-Ibañez from BTVTE ICTCH2C.